Hello, I am here on behalf of Sarah May. We always get comments on some of the background paper that we make, well, that I make, and it's real super easy to do. Here is a little swivel matte frame stuff that I did, and this is a pale green piece of paper with some red and green glimmer spray on it, and I just stamped it with these little nautical stamps, and it's really pretty. And here is a background one I did for my mini album, and it's still a little wet. I never fully dried it, but it's also got color, the red and the green and then the brown edges. And this is typically the color scheme I do because it looks like ancient parchment, and it's real shiny and pretty, and I love it. So this is what I've been trying to make for the past 2 hours, but my kids keep screaming, so if they come in here and scream again, I'm just going to keep on going and ignore them. So I'm going to do a tag, just because what was closest to me now that I'm all frustrated. And I've got a couple of drops of water here, and I'm just going to barely around the edges, just get it damp. In fact, it'll probably be easier if you use a sponge. But your fingers would work too. I've been using my fingers. And now my son's asking if he can come out of his room out of his timeout because he's been screaming every single time I turn on the video camera. So I've got both sides of these, so I want the water to kind of penetrate in there and make sure that it doesn't tear too much. No, I did not. I'll come get you when your timeout's over. See, just going to keep on going. Okay, so now I've got these damp, and they're not going to be as inclined to tear when you scrunch up the edges. And you just kind of mash them down, pinch them. Just anything to make a crease, and you can also just wad this up and unwad it, but I want my middles to stay fairly crease free. So I am just mashing this all together, getting it good and folded. So then I am going to take, I have a color box ink pad here. I like the petals for my edge distressing. The texture's really good for me, and they're small and gets into small corners. So now I'm just kind of barely wiggling this over the edges just to pick up those high spots and kind of blend in those edges. And typically you would do both sides of this since it was a tag, but I'm only going to do one. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Distress ink and just kind of add a little bit of dimension in here so that middle's not just so stark white. Okay, so it's still kind of plain. Now what gives it the shimmer is the mist, and I make my own because I go through it. It would not be able to pay my mortgage if I just bought the Tattered Angels, which is great too. But now this is in a pink bottle, but it's actually clear. All I've got is some water and some glue and some gold mica powder. And then you just take this and squirt it down. Now the trick is you want a lot of it in here into those creases so it pools, and it's going to highlight those low points. Now I wait just a couple seconds to kind of let it soak in a little bit. Then you hit it with your heat gun, and you want to kind of hold it back a little bit just to kind of let that water evaporate a little bit. That way you're not just blowing your mica powder out of its little pool. I just have my heat mat and my cutting board underneath this, so I'm going to stick it on here so I don't warp my cutting mat. Now it's going to curl, and that's okay, it'll go back flat. And I love watching it do that for some reason. I don't know why that's so hilarious to me, but it is. And you want to get it good and dry. And since this is thick paper, I'm going to hit it on the back side too. Alright, that's almost dry. Toss that out of the way. Now the last thing that I like to do is just grab a darker brown. And this is going to kind of grab the edges a little bit more. And you can keep playing with this until you have a look that you like. Since it is so serendipity, you can't really do it twice, make two the same. But you've got your little tag there. This still needs to be dried a little bit more. And I don't know if you can catch that on the camera, but it is very, very shiny. And all that mica powder has gathered into the creases here. So it's super shiny there. Really awesome. So please let me know if you have any questions.